Imagine selling the Eiffel Tower not once, but twice. Victor Lustig, a master con artist, did just that. His first buyer, so mortified by his own gullibility, never reported the crime. Lustig's charm and cunning had already cast a spell. Then came a second buyer, ready to expose the elaborate ruse. But by then, Lustig was already on the run, leaving France behind. Most con artists might grab at cash, but Lustig was different. He stole something far more valuable: trust. In 1925, he spun a web of deception so convincing that wealthy businessmen believed the French government was planning to dismantle the Eiffel Tower. They fell for it, handsomely paying him off, unaware they were part of one of the most remarkable scams in history. And just like that, the Eiffel Tower was sold. The Eiffel Tower was never intended to be a permanent fixture. Constructed for the 1889 World's Fair, its original lifespan was just 20 years. But as time passed, by 1925, maintenance costs escalated and rust became a pressing concern. Newspapers erupted in debate over whether this iconic landmark should be dismantled. While most dismissed the chatter, one man, Victor Lustig, took a keen interest. At just 35, Victor spoke multiple languages and dressed immaculately like a government official in his expensive suits. With perfect manners and relentless confidence, he didn't resemble a criminal. He appeared important. Lustig understood a crucial truth. People place their trust in authority rather than mere facts. If he could persuade influential figures that he represented the French government, he could lead them to believe almost anything, including the fate of the Eiffel Tower. Victor Lustig knew that appearance was everything. If he wanted people to believe him, he had to look official. So he forged government documents, official seals, official signatures. Everything looked authentic. Then he sent confidential letters to 6 of France's largest scrap metal dealers. The message was simple. A private government meeting had been scheduled. Attendance was mandatory. The subject was highly confidential. Curiosity took over. One by one, the dealers accepted the invitation. Days later, they arrived at a luxury Paris hotel. They believed they were meeting a senior government official. Instead, they were walking into a trap, and Victor Lustig was about to make an unbelievable offer. The room fell silent as Victor Lustig began to speak. According to him, the French government had made a difficult decision. The Eiffel Tower was too expensive to maintain. Repairs were costly. Public criticism was growing, and officials wanted the entire structure dismantled. The iron would be sold for scrap, more than 7,000 tons of metal. The contract would be worth a fortune. The dealers could hardly believe what they were hearing. The Eiffel Tower? For sale? Yet everything looked official. The documents, the hotel, the man standing before them. And that was exactly what Victor Lustig wanted, because one of those men was about to become his perfect victim. André Poisson agreed to the deal. He handed over a huge payment along with the private bribe Victor Lustig had requested. Together it was worth a fortune. Lustig accepted the money without hesitation. Then he quietly left Paris and boarded a train bound for Vienna. Days passed. He waited for police to arrive. He waited for newspapers to expose the scam. But nothing happened. Poisson was too embarrassed to admit he had been fooled. Victor Lustig had just pulled off one of the greatest cons in history. One dealer stood out from the rest. His name was André Poisson. He was new to the scrap metal business and eager to prove himself. Victor Lustig noticed it immediately. While the others saw a business opportunity, Poisson saw a chance to make his name famous across Paris. Lustig knew exactly how to exploit that ambition. He pulled Poisson aside and hinted that the contract could be his. But there was one problem. Important government officials expected a private payment before the deal could be approved, and Poisson was willing to pay. Most criminals would have disappeared forever. Victor Lustig did the opposite. After realizing nobody had reported the crime, he returned to Paris and tried to sell the Eiffel Tower again. He used the same forged documents, the same secret meetings, the same promises, but this time, one potential buyer became suspicious. Questions were asked. Police were quietly contacted. For the first time, Victor Lustig sensed real danger. Yet somehow, once again, he managed to stay one step ahead. Victor Lustig escaped France before authorities could arrest him. But his criminal career was far from over. He traveled to America, where he became involved in counterfeiting and other elaborate scams. For years, he stayed ahead of investigators through charm, confidence, and deception. Eventually, federal agents caught up with him. In 1935, he was arrested and sentenced to prison. He was later sent to Alcatraz, one of the most secure prisons in the world. There, the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice spent his final years behind bars. Victor Lustig died in 1947, but his story remains one of the most unbelievable cons ever recorded. His greatest weapon was never force or violence, it was trust. He understood that people often believe what they want to believe. The question is, if you had been sitting in that hotel room in Paris, would you have believed him? If you enjoyed this story, like, subscribe, and share for more true crime, dark history, and forgotten mysteries.